that would be horrendous if they got robbed of this because, he's at the, he does not play like he's in the twilight of his career, but there is a small amount of years left.
The Mismatch, presented by FanDuel Sportsbook.
Number 3, Phoenix could make the West Finals even without Chris Paul.
That might be true.
Wow.
Which is crazy to say. But like depending on the draw with the play-in and depending on how the seeding shakes out with the 4-5, that might be true. It's unlikely though. It's very, very unlikely. Is that fair?
Yes. I think it's fair. They're able to.
Okay.
They built themselves such a cushion. They're not. They're still going to get the 1 seed.
Yes, they will get the 1 seed. Exactly.
So, now, I do think they would need. It's teetering. I don't want to say it's ridiculous, but it's hard for me to imagine they can't go to the West Finals without him. I mean, I think they could win. They could win the first couple rounds. They could get there. How about that? They could get there.
Let's just say this first. Chris Paul's injury, he's out 6 to 8 weeks. The playoffs are in 7 weeks. That's the way it was announced. So there's a chance he misses the start of the first round of the postseason, which could be right now against Minnesota, the Clippers, Lakers, or Blazers. They could beat any of those teams with the way the Lakers are playing right now. They could beat the Wolves without Chris Paul. They could beat the Clippers without Chris Paul. They could beat the Blazers without Chris Paul. We don't even know if Dame will be playing for the.
But I don't know if they could. But I don't know if they could beat Dallas, Denver, Utah.
Yes, exactly, and that's where I'm like, but Chris Paul might be back by then. So
right. Well, it is that I talked to my buddy Jeff Stotts, who's at In Street Clothes, yesterday about this because he had posted something about him having surgery on the thumb. And so I guess there's a suture in there. And so the way he was explaining it to me was there's a suture in there. And so after they go and check that out, if the suture's still in place, then he's just got to wait for that bone to heal. And then you could avoid surgery. But if that suture got messed up, then you might be talking about having to have surgery again. And it is a little strange that they, right out the front, said, will be reevaluated in 6 to 8 weeks or whatever. Because he has hurt that. That's it. In 2017, he busted that thumb and he had surgery on it. And so it is the same thumb. And so it's just a, wait and see. That would be horrendous if they got robbed of this because, he's at the, he does not play like he's in the twilight of his career, but there is a small amount of years left, and so, and he got banged up last year, during their run. And so here's hoping that he will be okay. Knowing him, he'd go out there with the busted thumb and play. Seriously. Like, I don't think he would just sit on the sidelines and watch it take place. And so we can't know. But I think they could win the first round. I don't think they could get to the West Finals. That's a bridge too far.
He might be back and it'll all be moot. We'll see.
That's right. All right. Number 4. Zion Williamson has played his last game as a New Orleans Pelican.
That might be true. It might be true. Everything that's transpired the past week, even the season ticket holders, like they sent the email out. You tweeted this out, right? They sent out the email to Pelican season ticket holders to renew for next year, and there's no mention of Zion Williamson in the email. Little things like that. Him not calling CJ McCollum, like that's so whack. And it just represents. I was texting with some NBA execs about that over the weekend, like, hey, what do you think about Zion not introducing himself to CJ? And the response from everybody was, this is not surprising. This reflects the type of investment he's made into becoming a Pelican. I mean, like, everybody's like, this is not surprising. And it's not surprising.
And it is a little different. Let me say this. It's different with CJ. CJ is the president of the Players Association.
Exactly.
That's why, and is easily one of the most respected individuals in the entire league. So it is different with him than if you just would have gone and gotten some second-year player.
He goes from Damian Lillard. Those guys were brothers. Damian Lillard's Instagram photo is a photo of Dame in a Blazers jersey and CJ McCollum in a Pelicans jersey right now. That is Damian Lillard's default photo on Instagram. Zion won't even give him a text or a call. Nothing. That just speaks to the lack of investment that he has into New Orleans. And I'll tell you what, for Pelicans fans, I know nobody likes to hear it for years now. But this is why, media don't stop talking about the possibility of him leaving, because everybody in the NBA won't stop talking about it either. It's something everybody talks about, and everybody, whether it's from CAA, whether it's from other agencies, whether it's from any team in the league, everybody talks about Zion's lack of investment in the Pelicans and the potential of him leaving. So this is all of that bubbling up where I think Pelicans fans now are even seeing, he won't even call CJ? Yeah, he won't even call CJ. I don't know what New Orleans can do in this situation. I don't think they know everything about Zion's current condition. There's just been so much of a lack of communication between both parties. It's just unfortunate. But so
that's
unfortunate.
Where to me, that was on, a lot of that's been on the Zion end and the not understanding where he's coming from, what's going on, the investment thing. You can surmise all of that. This is from the Pelican side. When you send out, this is the first time where there is an acknowledgement of a future that does not include him. It says, for those that don't know, there is a season ticket holders received an email from the Pelicans about renewal or buying new tickets for next year. And the opening stanza of the email says, led by new head coach Willie Green and players Brandon Ingram, Jonas Valanciunas, and CJ McCollum, the Pelicans are building something special across the street from the Caesars Superdome. I mean, now you can do the mental gymnastics and say, well, yeah, they mentioned those guys because he's not playing. If you're selling somebody on buying season tickets for next year, you know what I mean? You're not saying.
And I also don't think it's some, a hardcore, Pelicans fan who's their intern is writing up that email and he's pissed off at Zion. I don't think it's that either. All that stuff gets approved by someone higher up.
It's that old song by Garth Brooks, right? It's some of God's greatest gifts are unanswered prayers. And I think about that regarding, look, I just watched John Morant start in the All-Star game and then say, I'm here to rep Memphis and I'm Memphis for life and whatever else. And it's that night when they came back from that break and you're 2-1, you're like, oh my God, what if we get Zion? Now, I loved Morant and thought Morant was going to be a huge superstar, so I was going to be happy either way. But everybody wanted the number one pick in that draft.